We're on Genie.
It's true. We've gone from Genie to Dano, whatever that means.
Book them down.
That'll be the name of my seventh book, From Genie to Dano.
A history of bookings.
History of bookings. Well, it appears once again on the security table you have entered a conversation that was already happening. But we want to welcome you, our trusted deterministic fans from around the. Or would they be non-deterministic?
They're almost certainly non-deterministic.
No, they're deterministic because we can trust them.
True. I like that. Put that on a t-shirt.
Wait. That can you mathematically prove that?
I could call on people who actually know math to do it.
Yeah. I got the proof right here. 1 + 1 = 2. Done.
On which base?
Proven. Base 7.
It could be 0 and carry the 1.
True. I forgot about that. It's always the one that gets. Well, hey, folks, I'm Chris Romeo, joined by Izar Terendash, Matt Coles. We are the Knights of the Security Table. Actually, we're more like the Knights that say knee, but then we are the Knights of the Round Table. But okay, let's dive in here. Apparently, NPM has made some changes to stuff and junk.
About darn time.
About darn time is right.
So, well, actually, it's going to be this month, apparently, that these changes will be happening.
About almost darn time?
Basically, they're taking out some bad behavior. If I had to summarize this, they're taking out some bad behavior that NPM could do. They're not removing it. They're just making it something that you have to enable. So
in other words,
secure
they
by
are
defaulting it.
Enabling security by default.
Yes.
Finally.
So just quickly to summarize what I see as the changes. Well, who am I kidding? What my AI sees as the changes. NPM install will not run pre-install, install, or post-install scripts from dependencies unless explicitly approved, which is that secure by default thing again. NPM install will no longer fetch dependencies from Git repos, direct or transitive, unless explicitly permitted. Removing code execution path where Git dependencies .npmrc file could alter which Git executable is used. And then third, dependencies installed from remote URLs such as HTTPS tarballs will no longer be resolved unless explicitly permitted. So once again, does it sound like they're not taking anything out?
Nope, because they don't want to break. They don't want to break massive backward compatibility problems, right?
Yeah, which I think is the right thing to do for something with the scale of NPM.
They are gating the bad behavior, right?
Well, you have to make a decision. You as a developer, or you as a developer, or you as the AI who is taking the place of the developer, need to make a decision. Now, interesting. Sorry, now that brings up an interesting thought. By leaving the behavior in, but disabled by default, does that mean almost certainly any AI that has been trained on NPM prior to V12 will just re-enable it, and you're going to be broken again, or potentially broken again?
It will try to do it the wrong way. It will see that it doesn't work. It will try 30 other ways, including erasing your whole file system.
No, but it will work.
And then you are going to say, but wait, this changed. And it's going to go back to you and say, you are absolutely right. I should have checked which version of NPM I was running before I destroyed the file system.
It's too late now.
I mean,
so
who needs a file system?
Well, because V12, when V12 comes out, I mean, this will be a problem in the first couple weeks, but as soon as you get new models that are trained on V12, they'll know V12 has different behavior.
But to me, the really interesting thing here is that NPM has taken this high profile as a package distribution system, as a package manager, right? And it's not a very new thing. For a while it was limited more to people who dealt in a certain part of the space, but
people
now
who wrote JavaScript.
See, I didn't want to go there, but then you went there. Yeah. So
what else are you supposed to go there? It's NPM.
No. I mean,
it's Node package manager, Node
yeah,
JS package
but
manager.
it's just that kind of person. People that go, oh, that's just for front ends. No. Let's write the back end because that's a great idea.
Yeah, because somebody decided to write use JavaScript to write backend servers.
That's for a different episode. But the thing now is,
I think we've had this episode before.
We did? Deja vu. So what I'm interested here is when will the other 30,000 different package formats and package managers out there actually do the same thing, right? Because this is just the right thing to do. We should be making difficult for people to do bad things, even without knowing that it's a bad thing, right? So if you really trust the package that you're pulling, then sure, by all means, allow dangerous whatever the flag is. And if you don't, then at least stop and think before you do it. And consider the consequences of the thing that you're asking your shell to do for you.
So I just made the connection here that these NPM changes would have if they had been in existence, the Shai Halud worm would have been not allowed, wouldn't have been able to operate. It was using a post install script.
It would have had to follow a different vector, right? It would have had to find a different package manager that had bad behavior. It wouldn't have been through NPM. It would have been through something else.
It would have been slowed down because a lot of people would just look at the output and say, oh, you just have to add a flag. Let's do it.
Well, actually, that's an interesting question. Is there a bypass here? So if you disable but keep all the functionality, could a package re-enable it? Like as a two-step process?
Anything that can call another thing will be able to re-enable it, right? So if you have a bad script that calls a good script with bad flags, you're going to get a bad outcome. But the thing here is that at the end of the day, who is this going to actually serve? The people who already had a minimum of security awareness to know that this might be a problem. So unless it comes out with a big honking banner saying you're trying to do this thing and this thing may damage you, then I don't know if a lot of people are going to extract a lot of content from this.
Well, I mean, honestly, right now with everybody doing, or not everybody doing vibe coding or spec-driven development, developers will never see it.
Yeah, but this is going to break a lot of pipelines down there, right?
Because they rely on pre and post install functionality
on installing a lot of these packages, and some of them do the post install thing. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them I'm sure do. So there may be some breakage in the horizon if this becomes the default.
Well, why wouldn't you just ask your AI to fix it? Which, as you said, may result in the deletion of your entire application, but at least initially.
Which perhaps carries us into the next one.
Well, before we get there, how did RPM solve this? Right. So I think we were talking earlier. RPM potentially
on RPM,
has
this. You can say explicitly which stages of the install you want to run. Right. If you don't say anything, then it's going to run the whole thing: the pre, the install, and the post. Or you could say just run this one or just run that one. The thing is that RPMs, perhaps because of their age, I think, they do have a bit more of a security veneer around them. So you have they are signed. I'm not familiar with NPM to the point of saying that those packages can be signed. I think that it's more of a provenance thing. Could be wrong, but RPM does have the whole signature verification ecosystem around.
But signing doesn't eliminate bad behavior.
No, it doesn't. But it gives you at least again, that's why I said the security veneer. It gives you the provenance, and if your sources are trusted, then by the transitive property, you're saying, okay, I trust them to run the pre-post and install scripts, the same way that you run that you trust them to run their binaries, right?
Well, I guess that's today. It's implicit trust, right? Because
Mhm.
nobody's checking the packages. I mean,
We
if they did, do you know anybody who? I mean, do you know of anybody who goes and looks at all of their JavaScript packages, like explicitly? I want this one. I want this one. I
Of
want this one.
course.
Okay, besides Chris.
No, I know people who will bring stuff in, scan stuff, put in their own repository, and direct all their developers to only use that repository, right? Because at the scale and speed that these things go, be honest with you, I'm not expecting anybody to do that verification by hand. It's like, oh, new shiny thing, yay!
And there's tools to do that as well. You don't have to build that type of internal repository from scratch.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
hey,
so
you know what? All in all, a good step forward.
Well, yeah,
It
it's
is,
about time.
but there are some bypasses to it. That's what I was looking at right now. Your AI can bypass it is actually true. If developers just run npm approve scripts -- all to unlock their build, the protection collapses entirely. And it says AI coding tools adding dependencies at speed may outpace human review, risking the allow list becoming a mere formality.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the alternative is they disable the functionality entirely, make it
That's what I
a
thought they were
backwards
doing.
breaking change, making a breaking change, and then what? So now you need to have explicit trust of packages, right? That defeats the purpose of npm, perhaps, or does it become like PyPy?
No, I mean, it's npm's goal should be the inherent trust of all packages that you get from it. Now, that's an easy thing to say, not as easy of a thing to implement. But
No,
isn't that why they exist for the future, at least, is to provide trusted packages? Aren't they a trusted repository of packages?
but are they trusted because they said that they are to be trusted, or are they trusted because by use people decided to trust them?
I mean, people
Did
trust
they?
PyPy, right?
Oh,
or not?
did no? I mean, did they wake up in the morning and said we are going to build a trusted environment, or did they just say we are going to be the place where people will come to get their packages?
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
option 2.
I don't know.
Yeah, speed
But
over convenience over anything else, right?
Yeah.
but in the second article that we're going to talk about here, there was mention made of open SSFs. Maybe it wasn't in the second article, but
The
apparently
scorecard?
open. No, they have a signing project for
Yeah, the
packages.
cosign, and I forget that it's actually a very good project with a lot of very good people in it.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's like Let's Encrypt, which wasn't
I don't
Encrypt.
know.
that's what I started saying about 5 years ago. Is like somebody needs to build the Let's Encrypt certificate version for packages. Because think about it, you don't even think about TLS certificates anymore for public sites. It's just a commodity that you don't even pay for. Like they just get generated by this service. If we could get to that point with excuse me, with packages, like that would be to be able to have that provenance, true provenance and cryptographically proven provenance of a package. At
Well,
least
so
it's a step.
interestingly, though, so getting a little sidetracked, but Let's Encrypt verifies that you have ownership of the site before it gives you a certificate. How would it do that for software packages?
Have to be a repo. Have to be a repo thing. Or you do the same exact thing in a repo. You have to put a file in a repo like you would do in a DNS info record or something to prove ownership. There, I solved it. Somebody can go build it now.
Well, there you go. Somebody write a spec. Somebody write a spec and get Claude to write it for you.
Yeah, somebody vibe code it today, and let's get this thing deployed tomorrow.
What's the cost of that? Actually, who pays the cost of the certificates?
I think it's a not for profit. That's a charitable organization, last I heard. I don't know if some big companies, I feel like some big companies seeded it with money.
Mm.
But I'm double checking just because with everything else in the world, I don't know anything anymore. I just type words into an AI bot and it tells me.
Because AI has become a search engine.
Yeah, there were five original sponsors: Mozilla, EFF, Cisco, Akamai, and IdenTrust. That kicked in a bunch of money. But now the Gates Foundation's on board.
Well, there you go. Well, so maybe we can get them to make code signing certs. Call to action.
Issued more than Let's Encrypt has issued more than 7 billion certificates since launch.
And how many of those sites have some malware?
I mean, some 30-40%. But.
What's in your threat model?
we have to do that commercial one of these days.
All right. Well, let's talk about this other thing. I think we've talked about the NPM.
Yeah, it was a good change.
We're in favor of it.
By the way, when did GitHub own NPM?
When what?
GitHub bought NPM?
Well, okay.
What are you
it's
talking
GitHub
about?
announces there's an NPM change. Why did GitHub announce it?
That's weird. I didn't think of that.
Because they're the ones who are going to break the most.
It's a GitHub blog about NPM. Our next NPM major version.
Huh.
When did GitHub own NPM?
I'm going to click on the actual link up there.
Yeah, I did, and it has a label on top, retired. What is
that's
that?
what I'm wondering.
That's weird.
I just noticed that too. What is that? What's retired? NPM? The announcement?
It's the announcement?
Kind of
what? Okay, now I'm confused.
What?
Maybe we're not in favor of this now. Now we're confused.
I'm confused. GitHub Enterprise. Okay, I need something to drink.
And then the previous one is Dependabot version updates now support the Dano ecosystem.
GitHub acquired NPM in 2020.
Okay, what? We're a little bit behind the news.
What? GitHub, my mind is just what these are so upset about this. He just left the studio. He just left. He just got up and walked away and said, "Screw this, I'm out."
He needed a drink. He's going to get something stronger.
8 o'clock in the morning.
He's getting a monster.
I went to check if GitHub by mistake had acquired itself. No.
Well, apparently GitHub has acquired NPM.
In 2020, where were we?
But wait. Was NPM a thing that could be acquired?
Well,
I didn't even know that. That's how out of NPM I am. Actually, since we mentioned anything vibe coded, I want to turn to our listeners and ask for help. So NPM, if you do NPM audit, it will look into something called a package lock into the directory that you are, go through all those packages and their dependencies, and see if there is any outstanding security alerts for them or whatever. You can see these, I don't know. That's all good and nice for the packages in the project that you're working on and their dependencies. But there's all kinds of tools that you install using NPM, which could be -G global or private. I haven't found yet a way to scan those for security issues. So if anybody knows of something like that, drop us a line, give us a comment, poke us on LinkedIn or something. Because if there isn't one, my question is why? That's no less important, right? I mean, even our AI agents are written in distributed through NPM. So it shouldn't be a matter of like going and say, "Oh, I remember that once I installed this thing. Let me see if I can update it." There should be a.
Will this change break AI installs now?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Because probably they rely on these pre and post install scripts to deploy. In fact, they probably do, because you deploy the bits and then you run the post install script to actually do the install.
Yep, I guess.
So that's an interesting thing, because if they make this the default behavior, but it breaks all the installs for convenience, they'll probably be disabled by default soon.
It's said in the last version of 11, NPM 11, they made them all warnings so that people would be getting some visibility that things are about to break.
There's a bunch of stuff that you can add with NPM, like skills and this and that and the other one, that are not exactly binaries, but they have post-install scripts because they ask all kinds of questions on the install.
According to my research, only 2% of NPM packages need install scripts to function.
How'd they come up with that
but the
number?
question is, which 2%?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, because a lot of them, most of them, I would say, are probably libraries that come as dependencies, right? So you need them around in order to be able to run something. But exactly what Matt is saying, that these packages that now are part of our AI, I'm sorry, I can't call them agents, our AI clients, right? Those things do seem to need post-install. I remember over the weekend, I installed something and it asked a bunch of questions afterwards. I'm guessing that was a post-install. If it wasn't, then there's another thing that we have to turn off. But the derivative here for me is that if it becomes a learned behavior that you have to run it with dash whatever to get those things to work, then what have we achieved?
It's the security theater, the single button click. Where's your single button keyboard there? Because that's basically what it is all over again.
Thanks for remember. Yeah.
So I'm looking up the discussion thread on this. So the functionality exists, but it doesn't exist in. Question is, some user to their discussion, will Node 26 ship with NPM 12? And it's an ongoing discussion about which version of Node will ship with this thing by default.
I think we should invite somebody to talk to us about the NPM universe and make us more educated about it, me at least, because I don't feel like I know enough of the details there.
I mean, that'd be an interesting episode anyway, to talk about, not just, as you mentioned, there's other things, right, that with RPM, but also Go, right? There's other sort of language with built-in package manager discussions to be had,
right? Because now they are environments, they're not languages. Once upon a time, you had VI and a compiler, and life was good. And now you have
life was not good.
Hey, life was great.
There was no IDE.
It was better
than
me
my errors.
It was better than having Ed. You remember Ed?
What was the line by line one?
Ed.
That was Ed.
Was it Ed?
It was Ed.
Yeah.
It was VI.
VI was an improvement over Ed.
Emacs, which is Ezar's go-to.
Hey! No, nobody says a word about VI about Emacs.
See, I told you. This is his.
I wonder if somebody already wrote a Lisp package that runs Claude inside of Emacs. I'm sure they have.
If they haven't, you will have it by next week.
No, I don't touch Emacs anymore.
You don't have to.
I'm sorry to say.
You don't have to. Claude will.
Yeah.
Those were
have your friend Claude do it.
Those were good times.
Those were good times.
Tell it to use Emacs. It'll be like, no, I can't do that.
No. Seriously. I remember Eliza. Do you guys remember Eliza?
Eliza, yes, a little bit.
Yeah, Eliza running inside of Emacs. That was one of like the first things that I actually discovered on Emacs, and it led me to a very, very deep rabbit hole of learning Lisp and Prolog.
When did you get colorization in your editor?
It was around 91, 92. There was the what was the name of the package? Transmogrifier, something like that. That would give you syntax color on Emacs. And the fun thing was, it took me a long time to get to a color scheme that I could work with.
Mm.
And
there was no accessibility at that point. I mean, it was
no, and just last week, I was trying to like find a color for each different agent that client that I was running, and I was looking for wheat. Wheat was like the default of X Emacs when it came out, and I just couldn't find the right RGB for wheat, and it drove me nuts.
You know, there's a limited set, right? You could test them all, and then I mean, wheat is mostly white, right? So it's yellowish.
No, that looks like work. We don't do work anymore.
You don't have to. That's what your clients/agents are for.
Okay, so what did I do? I found
you have an agent swarm. Test each of these and look for wheat.
No. What you do is, I went up in the attic. I found an old laptop that I had that ran Linux circa, I don't remember when, and it had in it like my .dot files from way back when, and it had .emacs and .x .x, what was it? .x attributes or something like that?
RC?
No. The .x files.
All right. And, I have a surprise for you, Azar.
And in one of them, I had .foreground equals the RGB for wheat. So I was able to find that.
I have something for you.
No, don't tell me that Gemini found it for you.
I did. Not Gemini. But there is an Emacs themes site with GitHub pages for the wheat.
Yeah, you know what? I had much more fun looking at my old laptop,
including the RGB color blocks, so you know exactly in CSS, so you can apply it to your HTML pages.
Yeah,
I heard wheat's making a comeback.
No.
It's supposed to be the color of the year for 27.
It's easier on the eyes.
It is.
Everybody's going to be using it. It's going to be houses are going to be painted wheat.
Okay, so wheat is the new dark mode?
Yeah, it is. I heard that too.
T-shirt.
From people in Silicon Valley. I heard that.
T-shirt. Okay, cool.
I mean, they were on the TV show.
Wheat on black.
What?
Wheat on black.
So, wheat on black. So we're going to jump into the SDI was broken, or we're going to keep it for next week?
I think we.
Let's talk about the Stride built world longer exists. I kind of said that wrong.
Stride was built for a world that no longer exists. Is the topic? Yes.
In a world that doesn't exist anymore, a methodology rose to
you really need that guy. Once again, you need that guy from the movie previews. In a world that doesn't exist, Stride is missing.
Hey, we are continuously searching for it.
It's a stride out of time.
All right, so let's do this.
Has anybody come up with a stride per agent anymore already?
Probably.
Yeah, I think you just invented it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put the stake on the ground for that one.
Stride per client?
Stride per client. No, that's a consulting gig.
There you go. So
we're interesting. I mean, do we want to be here? Do we want to be just normal mean levels, or do we want to
no? Wait! I think I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the SDL was broken, and that's actually good news.
You're in the wrong article.
Wrong article. We're in Stride was built for a world that no longer exists.
Or we moved backwards because it was supposed to be.
Oh, backwards. Okay. Let me go look for it. Okay, you guys start. I'll jump in.
It's in chat, by the way.
Just watched Izar just catching up to
because he's still stuck on his wheat.
He's still just looking for the color wheat. So if you know it, tell him.
No, he's playing Settlers of Catan. And he's looking for wheat.
just assume that I'm stuck. Like it's the safe choice.
He's playing. What's the game that Oregon Trail? He's playing Oregon Trail over there.
Oh, you just died of what was it?
Dysentery.
Dysentery.
Oh no, Izar died of dysentery
again and again.
All right, so
hey, I played the thing on an Apple II.
Yeah, I did too. On Apple II.
Apple II.
In green. Yep. Anyway.
All right. So
yeah.
Wait, how did I end in the
I'm
same
just going to be
place?
normal here when we respond to this.
So Stride. So two things about Stride. Stride is both a threat categorization and a methodology.
Yeah.
Right. So you have Stride, the spoofing, tampering, repudiation, etc., and you have per element and per interaction.
Okay. Agree.
Right. So far, so good.
Both of those, I would argue, still apply in an AI world. And in fact, it applies, I think, even more so in an AI world. Because what's an AI? An AI is a process. AI is a behavior, has behaviors. And the Stride threat categories are all about behaviors.
Oh God, I'm gonna be so mean here.
To who? To who are you going to be mean?
To whom?
To whom?
To a
Would it be whom or
world
who?
that no longer exists. I mean, why do people feel this need to put down something that has been serving us quite well, I might say. Not exactly my choice of where to go, but has its uses, definitely, right?
Sure.
And then start saying, oh, no, doesn't work anymore. No, the world guys, for the love of Tulu, it's bytes. They go into CPU, they come out. We're not quantum yet. It's not like all possible things happening will happen everywhere at the same time. No, it's bytes come from memory, go into CPU, an opcode gets executed, a result comes out, right? It's the same thing as people saying, you know what, we can't have maps anymore. No, cities can't have maps anymore because, hey, you know what, cars can take any way they want. Right? You never know which way a car is going to take. Hey, it can drive this way, it can drive that way, it can drive the other way. So let's not make maps anymore.
If you're in Boston, one-way streets don't matter, right? So...
Well, that's a different thing. Jerusalem, same thing. I mean, you can come in a different day and it's going completely different way. But my point is, we are all running around saying, oh, all those things are non-deterministic. Yeah, sure, fine. Yeah. You don't know exactly what's the next step. But the whole thing should be bound. Only a certain number of things can happen. You just don't know, okay, how it got there, the order. But
that's an important issue but I've even got something we can do before that. Can you go to the top of this article and this example that he has here about the mid-market healthcare company, integrated ChatGPT. They ran a formal Stride threat model and then the world fell apart.
Wait, I haven't seen the word falling apart yet. Okay.
Well, so then week 3, a patient called, their medical records appear in the ChatGPT response, not the records, someone else's. Can't we tie each of these instances, like summarize, and then the next one was summarize my previous chat history? Isn't tampering in a refactored AI world, isn't this just tampering? And maybe Stride needs to be, some additional explanations need to be made for how Stride applies to AI. But I keep seeing...
So I was ready to go explode over there.
Go ahead.
So the thing here is that what's not being said here, right, is that it's the same thing as, okay, coding agents. We already agreed that we should relate to all code coming out from a coding agent as code from a junior developer, right? Check it, read it, review it, whatever. Just don't accept it at face value. On the other hand, when we're talking about chatbots that could have like a query functionality, people are willing to accept those things as if they are like master librarians that know exactly where to go and get only the right thing and bring it right in front of you and put it in front of you. You know how you don't get things that can do what's being described here? By binding the amount of agency that they can have. By using controls beyond the AI that will say, you know what? Mind that record, but not that one. Databases have per role controls and have had them for, 30 years. Because that stuff works. But just to say, hey, AI, whenever somebody asks for a record, only show their records, nobody else's, okay? That's not non-determinism. That's ridiculous optimism. That's not how things work. So yeah, the behavior of the AI may be non-deterministic, but the controls that you put in it are deterministic. And those controls, they tie to specific scenarios of failure. Those scenarios of failure tie to impacts. Stride likes impacts. You probably, as you said, could bind those things back to Stride. And it's not like all of a sudden there's this new class of stuff that Stride never saw before. And oh my God, we need another acronym.
Well,
we need layers. We need layers.
All right. So I'll play devil's advocate a little bit here. Why did Stride LM exist? It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer.
Wait. Do we want to tell people who are not familiar with
Stride LM, right? Stride plus lateral movement. And that's the plus lateral movement that is the important part. Somebody decided that Stride was necessary, but it was insufficient or it was lacking something. And so they added lateral movement, right? And so you had the base and then you extended it to fit a particular use case.
But that's the thing. What did you extend it with? You didn't extend it with one more impact. You extended it with one more way of using the previous 5 impacts to get to where you want.
True.
Right.
So
utilize tampering to get a pivot.
Exactly. So it's the same thing as prompt injection, right? The folks at OWASP who are doing the whole LLM top 10 again. I had the chance to go into the channel that's discussing prompt injection itself as a threat, and put in there a lot of what I've been putting here on the podcast for a long time, that it's not a threat. Prompt injection is not a threat by itself, right? And I was expecting some pushback, or I was expecting to learn something that would completely change my view. And I did learn a lot of stuff, for sure, but nothing that disagreed with me. And they were extremely gracious in allowing the newbie to step into something that clearly had been discussed ad nauseum over there, right? Mm-hmm. And they said, yeah, it's not really a threat. It's a vector. It's a way to get there. It's something that looks bad, but it's not by itself a threat because it's not doing things. You need other stuff on the tail end to actually have an impact on something, mm-hmm. right? So the LM in here, the lateral movement by itself, it wouldn't be a vector. It wouldn't be an impact. It would be something that takes you further. It would be even a result. You want to get that foothold so that you can get lateral movement, so that you can go somewhere else and have more impact.
And you're touching upon something that's very important. Actually, it's mentioned in the next paragraph. It said the threat model said this was unlikely. This was the hallucination part. But the attacker made it repeatable. Stride doesn't decide likelihood. Stride is a category of threats.
True.
Yep. Or Stride is a way of identifying threats based on a DFD. It doesn't decide likelihood. Something else decides likelihood. Traditionally, that's the humans who decide likelihood. They look at a particular threat and say, how is it likely to occur? Is it likely to occur? Is it something we should do something about? Right? To some extent, or actually in reality, you're actually asking one of the 4 questions of the 4-question framework when you're applying Stride. What can go wrong? And mm-hmm. or what are we going to do about it? And one of those answers for what are we going to do about it may be nothing, because it's unlikely to occur. So it's not Stride, it's the threat modeling process and the decisions that are made that decide that threat may be unlikely. And so if the threat model decides something's unlikely because of past behavior, but now you have repeatable behavior that says otherwise, update your threat model. Don't throw Stride away.
I'm looking at this going, the people that should be fired are the people that didn't do a proper threat model, considering all of their threats. Like, they ran a formal Stride threat model, is what it says at the top. Why wouldn't you consider AI in that threat model? Like, This
Maybe
is kind of a
if you don't
strange
know,
example.
if you don't know that hallucinations can occur with cross conversation,
well,
context,
then you shouldn't have deployed a ChatGPT connected API into an application if you
That's
didn't
one
have the
thing.
knowledge to
That's
to
one thing,
understand
but
how it worked. Should have
another
asked
one.
it how it worked.
Can you hallucinate? No, of course I can't hallucinate.
Wait. When somebody says something like an hallucination occurred because of a past conversation,
Cross context,
cross context,
which we
then I
know.
have to.
So maybe we know that now. Maybe we didn't know that whenever this occurred.
No. Let's go back there. Let's forget the hallucination for a second. Let's talk about the cross context here. How long have we known about the need to clear your buffers before you start a new session of anything that runs in a loop? How long have we known about mining swap files for passwords? How long have we known about looking for data structures in the process memory to figure out what was happening in there? It's not a new thing, people.
How many people understand that NPM automatically does things when you install packages?
But that's the thing. We are talking. No.
We've known about it for decades. Nobody's paying attention to it. That doesn't make Stride invalid.
You know what? No. That's for sure. That's for sure. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I know.
What
I'm saying again is just bringing it back to the article.
I agree with you completely. What I'm saying again is we are making names for these esoteric things that happen inside AIs, like, I don't know, cross-context contamination. Oh my God, CCC. Oh, it's a new acronym. Yay. Looks good. But damn it, it's just applied stupidity. I'm starting a new session, I clear the memory.
Seems to be basic practice and good hygiene.
Well, actually, it is good hygiene, but doesn't it happen for you all the time? And I'm not defending it, by the way. I'm just saying, if you start a new application, you make an assumption. We've talked about assumptions a lot in threat modeling, right? That you're making an assumption that memory gets cleared for you by the compiler. The compiler set up, prefix code to take care of it for you.
That would be what
right?
professionals call a wrong assumption.
As a computer scientist,
yes.
What do you say?
Wait, are we professionals?
No. Sorry. As a computer scientist, I would expect somebody to make that wrong assumption. But as somebody who actually wrote software for a living, I would say no.
Are we in the professional category though? Three of us.
Wait. What profession is it?
I mean, what profession?
No, I mean,
casino gambler.
No, that's when we're talking about the probability.
Or
but
crypto.
The thing here is we. When I say we, it's
broadly,
not even the royal we, because I don't think that we are, because I like to think that we are looking at these things in a different light.
We versus we.
Yeah, right. The vertical we as opposed to the horizontal we. There is this rush to create this whole. There's this whole.
I'm really confused right now. I'm not a professional.
Doing a little Steve Martin there, were you?
Yeah, there is this whole rush to create a new horizon of thing, a new taxonomy, a new ontology, a new something of things, right? And
oh wait, hold on, I got to steal third. He's on first.
Who's on first?
Third.
There's this whole let's invent this whole thing, and I think that coming and saying that something like Stride all of a sudden lost its meaning or it's not relevant anymore it's such a leap in trying to coin a new revolution where there isn't one. No.
Let me give you an illustration. That might help to wrap this thing up and put this article to bed. So, remember the Model T, right? Mm. Ford created this very early model car. I can look at the Model T and say, I can't believe it doesn't have airbags.
right?
How do they, it's not a car, or seatbelts. It's not a car because it doesn't have airbags and seatbelts. Yes, it's still a car. It's still functioning. You can still drive it down the road. Have cars progressed over the years since the Model T? Yes, of course.
Are they still cars?
That's what we're talking about here. There are newer things. Yes. Is Stride the latest and greatest thing? No, there are things. There are new not methodologies, but mnemonics and things that have been created for threat modeling of AI.
Yep.
And so why would I try to drive a Model T across the country and expect it to be as safe as a modern day car? I wouldn't. I would look for a modern day car, and I would leave my Model T in the museum. So I just suggested Stride needs to go in a museum. Dang it.
No. Look. You got something here. You got something here.
The fact he had something, but he completely went off the rails.
I threw it in the museum.
he tried to go through the whole country. But the 4T is going to take you from point A to point B. Okay? Same way that a Ferrari is going to take you. Probably it's going to be slower. Depends on the angle of the...
Oh, no, it is going to be slower.
That's guaranteed.
But you have to remember that for all the lack of airbags, for the fact that the brakes were made of wood, they were actually. My family had a 4T for a while, but 1929, not a 1910. But for all the things that today we look at them and go, what? You know what? The brakes still stop the car. The engine still pulls the thing. The wheel still turns the car around. You are probably going to have to drive differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to say, you know what? Instead of a Ferrari, let's talk about a Model T and a Tesla. The Tesla is going to do a lot of stuff for you, but it's going to do the same things that the Model T did. Because what you're looking for is the base functionality. You want to get from point A to point B.
I'm going to say the car analogy is the wrong analogy here.
Probably.
It's the motor vehicle.
We just spent 5 minutes on it.
You did, but I think you're going the wrong way. I think you're...
Nice.
We didn't see the sign. We didn't see the sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, road signs, road signs, or motor vehicle driving laws and regulations and conventions are probably the better example. And I'm touching upon that because as we look further down the article, I know we're running on short on time on this episode, but it talks later about how the threat model doesn't have a control to address prompt injection. Well, that's great because that's not Stride's job, right? Stride's job is to find the threat. Stride's job is not to define a control. The control comes from you identify a threat and then you figure out what you're going to do about it.
Yeah, true.
And so you have conventions and you have standards and you have guidelines about how do you deal with certain threats. Stride doesn't tell you that. That's one of my gripes about Stride is it expects an understanding of a lot of knowledge around the threats to be able to address them.
That's the whole think like a hacker thing that we.
And if you don't understand, but also think like a computer scientist, or think like a developer, or think like somebody who knows how to read API standards, API specifications. You have to understand the technology you're using in order to address a threat against that technology. So if the AI model has unexpected output and you identified that in your threat model, but you don't know how to fix that because you don't understand how the technology works, that's a different problem than Stride is broken. That's you as a technology deployer don't understand the technology you're deploying.
The fact is that I think that we are fast approaching the rise of, if it hasn't yet, and I just don't know about it, the rise of a new profession, which is the AI psychologist, right? Because no, seriously, what Matt just put down, that the LLM could give you, I won't say bad, I won't say inexact, I would say a different kind of output than you were actually expecting. Now, between you and what generated that output, there are a lot of boxes. Some of them are gray, some of them are white, some of them are black. The black ones, at some point, somebody is going to have to rise up and say, I understand what's happening there, and I can explain to you what you have to do in order to get less of that. It's going to be an AI psychologist, you know?
Is the psychologist for the AI or for the person using the AI?
I think that's for the person using it. We are on the psychiatrist step already. But
so it's for the AI.
It's for the AI. I mean,
interesting.
It's what Matt's saying. You know that something can go wrong, but you don't know what to do about it. And all of a sudden, when you had code to look at and you could exactly trace, and now I'm going to talk a bit against myself. When you had the code to trace and you could figure out what the path was, then you could go back on it and say, oh, here's the bug. I'm going to fix it. Now that you have the LLM, and I'm not talking about what happens outside with the result of the LLM later on. That part I have established my position quite forcibly. But inside the black box, the non-explicability of what happened inside to get to that result, right? That's the bit where you can't go back and find, oh, this weight is the one that caused the distance between the thing and the other thing, and that's what caused the output. You don't have that level of explicability.
Right. We don't have that. Right. We don't know how to do that yet.
Exactly. So
because it's non-deterministic also.
and it's complicated math. Right. But
yeah, we don't know how many dimensions there were involved and number of parameters, all that sort of stuff, right?
Exactly. And when we do, we forget because it's a lot, right? But what I'm trying to say is that in between that, what could go wrong and what can we do about it, if you're not able to trace back to the root cause of what went wrong, it's going to be very hard to say, this is what I can do about it. So people come up with all kinds of fences and guardrails and whatnots that go around that black box bit and hope for good things.
Yeah. I have a thought exercise for listeners and for you guys as well, because you may have forgotten it. When you use C or C++, I'm sure there's other languages.
No, don't go there. C, keep it C. Okay.
All right, I'll keep it C. There are things in C that have undefined behaviors.
Yes.
Did you throw away using C because of undefined behaviors?
No, we defined the standard.
And when you had an application that exhibited an undefined, when you had an application that used functionality that may have fallen into the bucket of may exhibit undefined behavior, what'd you do?
I called it elegant.
Elegant.
But this is the exact same. This is a similar problem.
It is exactly the same thing.
You have undefined behavior in the technology, and you account for it. Right. That's Stride may point you in that direction, but Stride will not tell you how to address that undefined behavior. Right. You just have to deal with it. And as an application developer in the past, you would have said, well, for X number of boundary cases, something bad is going to happen, and we're going to 6-7 crash. Right. We're just going to bail because there's nothing else we can do.
I thought you said 6-7 crash for a second. But it was 6-7.
6-7.
Yeah. You know, now you're talking about levels of behavior, right? Levels of bad behavior. And one thing is to have a memory exception and end up in a 6-7. And another one is having your model say that all of a sudden, I don't know, something ridiculous that has been said lately. So many options. So many options.
Mathematically proven something.
Exactly. No, just something as simple as I don't know, that group of people are responsible for all the problems in the world, right? So, what went wrong here? In one side is, hey, you try to write in a memory area that you don't have a bit that says that you can write, so I'm gonna raise my hands up and bail out. The other one is well, you know what? This thing got trained with a lot of texts and a lot of input from different social media, and it got the impression that this was a fact. But we're not quite sure because, that there was just this amount and that amount, but then it went through reinforcement learning, and the person who was reading the thing decided, hey, you know what? This is a fact. So yeah, sure. Why not? Go ahead. That's a good answer. And it got into the model somehow. So the factors that could influence that bad behavior, they are so dispersed, and there's such a pipeline of them. And then there's the unexplainability and undecibility. I can't with this new words.
All right, we should probably end it there before Izar goes completely
apoplectic.
I can't say that one too. Yeah.
That's one of the words I can say, so I just go with it when I work it into
It always comes apoplectic.
If you could spell it, that would be even better. But
yeah. So I bottom line, I think that to go back and declare that the old ways of looking at what's out there are wrong. No, it's dead. The old way of looking at new things is dead. It's a bit premature. It may show a bit of lack of understanding of the old thing itself. And the race to create new things just to, well, let's put it as ulterior motives.
To pop on social media.
Yes.
There's more to talk about in this article, but let's leave it there.
What? No,
not talking about this article.
No, not talking about this article. No, definitely not. Definitely not. No. Please. Don't misunderstand me. But other things that we have seen that run to, create these new paradigms and new approaches, and at the end they end up doing the same thing.
Well, people are trying to get famous.
Yeah, but
you don't get famous by just, reciting an old thing.
True, but you can get famous by pointing out that, you can look at something in a different way without dismissing everything that came before.
That's a whole other episode right there. That is a bit of a phenomena. You just hit on a phenomena of that seems like it's in the last 5 years or so, that to create something new, you have to break something else down. Is like a pathway that people are approaching fame. Mm-hmm. And not the fame in the 1980s NBC television program. Not that type of fame. I'm gonna live forever. I knew it was in your head, so I had to draw it out.
I can't.
All right, with that, we can no longer be here because we've already used our one 1980s television theme song that we could sing, and if we let another one sneak out, the FCC will shut us down. So we have to.
It's fair use at this point.
It is. That's true. We have to wrap it
I
up
like
for
it. The way that you're saying means that anything automatic listening to this thing can actually recognize the song that I am singing, which I'm going to take as a compliment.
Yeah. No, I think we knew what it was. It worked.
No. You baited that one. Come on.
Of course I did. That's what I do. Folks, thanks for hanging around, talking about NPM changes, strides forward in the future and whatnot when it comes to AI. We'll see you next week. And what?
And Model Ts.
And Model Ts, yes.
Where are we going? We don't need stride. Yeah.
or brakes.
Wooden or not.
We do need to refactor the flux capacitor, though. And I'll leave you with that as we say adieu. Adieu? Yes, we do.